there is a good, loving God, how come there's evil in the world?
Okay, this was asked by Templeton in the first place, if I remember correctly. You say by there being a good, loving God, how can there be evil? So you say that by there being evil in the world, that there's a set standard for good and evil, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so where did that standard come from? It comes from a knowing that we as people know what's good and what's bad. We know that going out and killing somebody is bad. Mm-hmm. So that means there's a standard to judge it, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So what the good that you're talking about is the greatest good that we all know. Mm-hmm. It's called the supreme good. You would agree that that's what it can be called. Mm-hmm. Supreme good is just another name for God. So if you use that there's a standard for the supreme good, you're saying that there is a God, because you say that supreme good had to come from somewhere. It had to come from somewhere. The supreme good. That's just another name for God. Like, I'm not going to try any philosophical sleight of hand or anything. I'm just saying that, that by saying that there is a supreme good, that you're actually testifying to the existence of God. In a sense, like, it may not be intentional or not, but when you say there's a supreme good, you testify to God's existence.
Are you saying that evil actually works against the theory of atheism?
In a sense, yes, because think about it. The creationistic theory is that God created everything. The evolutionistic is that we were there and we evolved up to where we are now. But if we were there, like say you've got little monkey about this tall, and he evolves up and he gradually gets taller in terms of humans at our height. Well, if we had always been there and if the universe has always existed and always been evolving, how tall do you think we'd be now? As tall as that tree? Or would we have evolved into perfection by now? Because if you're saying the universe is infinite, then it means that it's always been evolving. So we would have already had time, ample time actually, to get that perfect state of existence. But we're not. I mean, we all know we're not perfect. We all have our flaws. There's evil in the world, basically, which proves that we're not at that perfect state. It proves that we have not yet to reach it. So how could we have evolved if we had yet to reach it, and we've been evolving forever? So it means there has to have been a creation, there has to have been a God it's just common sense that if we have been evolving, we would have been there.
Okay, let's say God is the greatest good there is. And then do not allow evil to exist in His creation. So, are you saying that your God is bringing a potential good from evil?
Yeah, in a sense, because think about it. He knows what He said. He created heaven and earth. He created Satan, because He created all the angels and Satan, Lucifer, whatever you want to call him, who's fallen angel. Satan, or Lucifer, made the choice to sin. He made the choice to rebel against God, saying He's greater, and He was cast out of heaven for it. God gave Adam and Eve a choice. Perfect human beings. They were sinless in a perfect world. They chose to sin. Eve chose to use the apple, and Eve chose to use Adam, and Eve chose to eat the apple. So it was a complete choice out of that. Yet from that original sin, we get good, as in the entire rest of the creation of the world. The man spreading the peoples, So, in a sense, yes, but it's people's choice. Now, if God were to say, if He would create perfect people, now if He were to regulate what sin happened, He would have to go inside each person's thought. Like, say a man was walking into a jewelry store and he thought, ooh, this is the thing I want to get for my wife, but I don't have money. He would steal it, and then that would be how crime started. If God was to regulate sin, He would have to infringe upon man's free will He gave us. He would infringe upon that free will and have to control that man and keep him from thinking that thought. Same thing with murderers, kidnappers, anything you want to think about. Even just a little bitty sin like, I didn't have 5 pennies to finish paying out for something. I would just walk out with it. It's just the little stuff that He would infringe upon our free will if he was to make people perfect and try to keep sin. Yet he allows things to happen because he gave us that choice, and when things do happen, he provides the opportunity for good to come out of it. He's not just going to let the world run down the drain. He's going to provide some way out for good and for his glory to shine.
Well, it was I have a lot of stuff to think about and go over, but it's so nice to meet you, and I hope you glad I can answer questions. I really enjoyed having you. We should do this again. Thank you. Bye.
How can there be evil? Which means you're acknowledging a set standard of evil, correct? Alice!
So are you saying, so are you saying,
Okay, so let's say God is the greatest